Hey everyone, it's Josh here, the best of Matt, and we are going live for FOMC today. I'm gonna have a guest, Joonie, my good friend, on. We're gonna watch it live together, give our thoughts ahead of the stream for the FOMC, and then probably also uh, talk about first the Robinhood Summit, just our general thoughts on that. Um, kind of how we felt about the whole thing. Maybe talk about the company as a whole. There was also some information for a filing with the NASDAQ. I guess it was 9 days ago now. I somehow missed it, but you can go look at my X post for that. And it talks about how they're going to tokenize securities on the NASDAQ exchange. I think they're just the first exchange, but there will be many. It goes into details about tokenizing the TQQs and QQQ, as well as other index ETFs. So that'll be interesting. My X is not working. Why? Let's see if it works now. There we go. Finally. So for some reason, my X didn't go live, but my YouTube did. So whatever. Joonie will be joining me here in a minute to go through the Hood Summit. I know he's got a stream over on Twitch right now that's active. But for the time being, we can talk about the FOMC and what we think will happen there. Here it is.
What we've done here is we've gone to basically what I would refer to as the ceiling of the valuation range since this bull market started, this current phase 3 years ago. And so the NASDAQ 100, coincidence or not, 28 times has basically been the max we've gotten to. And we're essentially back up there. It's more like 22 and a half to 23 times for the S&P 500. Now, no magic to these lines. Obviously, we can breach them to the upside. Obviously, if earnings in the coming year are underestimated, this is actually less expensive than we think. But it's worth noting that we've already repriced to a pretty aggressive.
Then what you'll see is that we're actually not that overall as far as valuations are concerned. But it's a popular one people like to share and look at. Especially the bears, they love to share the valuations being stretched. But if you adjust it for margins, then it really doesn't look so bad. Go back.
Given the current rate cycle as much, so if rates were to go lower, would PE valuations essentially support higher levels? Just
hypothetically, yes. Hypothetically, yes. I'm not that sold on the idea that there's this really tight linear relationship between those things. If you went back actually 5 or 6 years during the pandemic, we got more expensive, right? That's because partially earnings were really depressed, rates were zero, and risk appetites were very high. And the most expensive and most fast-growing stocks were leading the way. So, yeah, arguably there's upside to this. We obviously were higher in the 90s. We also were lower on corporate debt spreads in the late 90s. So it's not to say that we are an absolute maximum, but, you got to recognize exactly what you're paying for when you buy it.
It is pretty remarkable, though, with investment grade spreads being as tight as they are throughout the entirety of the cycle. And that the gapping out really only took place in recessionary periods. When you look at the length of that chart.
I mean, look, people say investment grade debt. People don't default on investment grade debt because you know why? It gets downgraded to junk before they default. And so there is a great deal of comfort in that idea of owning that paper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's take it to Kate Rogers for a CNBC News update. Hi, Kate.
That's another thing.
Hi, Mike. Rudy Giuliani must pay his former defense lawyers nearly $1.4 million for defending him in connection with his work as President Trump's personal lawyer. A New York judge ruling today in favor of the law firm Davidoff, Hunter, and Citron in their
gold is
lawsuit to collect
weirdly it's
unpaid
popular.
fees.
You can just look at the pricing for gold right now. I think that's definitely something to worry about, but I don't know that it's like the dollar is. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Could it potentially, like, I don't know, a couple of decades from now, maybe? It's just not on my radar for like an immediate concern. I know international relations are not great right now for obvious reasons. I actually work for a company, an international company, and it's kind of weird because a lot of our business is growing outside of the U.S. I feel like, the U.S. is kind of pushing businesses away. So they're just going elsewhere, whether it's to China or the EU. Now, what will they use to like trade, to pay for things? If they're not inside of the U.S., like will they get away from the dollar? I don't think so. Like I said, not immediately, really, but it's definitely a possibility in the future. And when we have crypto is the other, thing there that I think the U.S. will leverage with stable coins, just because cross-border payments will be so much easier. And if all the stable coins are backed by either treasuries or the U.S. dollar, it'll only make the dollar stronger. So you have to think about that too. Yeah. Oil. I mean, that's another, like, right. What is the time horizon on that? I don't think it's something that we need to be concerned about in the next 10 years. I know, for me personally, that's not something that I'm going to look for right now to be concerned about. I feel like there's other things, like, if Jerome Powell decides to come out today and do something crazy with rate cuts, either not cut or, I don't know if we would freak out on a 50 basis points. Like, that's all over X right now. Let me pull that up. Like, it's like all the feed is just people talking about us potentially getting a 50 basis point cut. And I just, whatever. I don't really see it. Like, I think the market expects 25 and he'll give us 25 just because of that. Now, whether we should or not, that's a different question. Like, you can go look at my feed. I think we should have been cutting all along, personally. But it is what it is. They didn't keep cutting, and we are where we are now. Fortunately, the market, not the market, let's say the economy, because they're different things. The economy has held up pretty well, all things considered. So, maybe if we get back into the cutting now, it won't kill us long term. Really, next year is where I would be concerned about seeing some of the impacts from not having cut for the last, 9 months, 8 months. I know we've skipped several meetings without any cuts. I think the Bank of Canada cut this morning, and they're down to like 2.5% effective funds rate for their country. Hey, Joonie, can you not get in here? Like, am I missing something? People. Let's see here. Sorry. Still learning StreamYard. The only times I've ever used it, it's like when I've been on a midstream or tenors and I've just been in invitee. I've never actually been the one to set it up. So you got to bear with us today. Joonie is also not very familiar with StreamYard, so it's going to be a learning process for both of us. People tend to forget rate cuts. Right. They take a long time. So, like, the fact that we paused for so long just pushed out the impacts even further than when we started to cut initially last year. I think we needed to keep cutting just for that reason, honestly, because we want to see the easing start to happen, to actually matriculate through the economy before it's too late, right? Because we wait too late to cut, then it doesn't really matter at that point. All right, here's Joonie. Let Joonie in. Hey, what's up, man?
What up? What up, dude? Sorry, I had to do something really stupid, but yeah, I'm here now.
What did you do that was stupid? You went full court in Robinhood.
Yeah.
Call options expiring this week.
Let me try to get my headset set up, and then we should be good.
Can you even hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Give me.
Yeah, Makana, man, that's pretty good.
Test. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great. At least on my end, I can hear you. Can you not hear yourself? Oh, yeah, we lost them. See, I told you it was going to be a work in progress. Thoughts on TSSI price action? Let's look at TSSI. I'll share my screen. Weird price action, right? It went down. It went up like 25% from the bottom, and then it pulled back 10% yesterday on like zero news. I think it's just trading like a small cap, honestly. You know, I guess it's sub 500 million market cap now. And you can just see, right? We got that run up to 16, which has been a level. We're like triple top there. It really, I mean, this looks like a inverse head and shoulders forming right now, which is pretty bullish. And it looks like it's kind of based out around $12 as the bottom, which is probably a pretty like a overly fair value for it. I mean, really, I think if they hit their Q3 numbers, it should be closer to 20. Like if they are really accurate with the 75% EBITDA projection for the second half of the year, then they should come in closer to $100 million again in the next 2 quarters. So Q3, Q4, which Q3 reports, we're about a month away from Q3 earnings for TSSI. So that'll be the put up or shut up quarter for me personally. If they don't hit this time again, like after that guide, which, you know, the earnings weren't terrible last quarter. They were just so much lower than what people were expecting. And it was trading at a high valuation. So when you're trading at a, you know, a 50, 60 PE, you really have to like crush earnings. And not only did they not meet expectations, they missed by what I was thinking they'd come in with over 100 million, and they actually came in at around 60 million. So when you miss by like 40%, you're going to get smashed by the market, which is what happened to them. All right, try again.
Now I'm good. I can hear you.
Good now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, we were just talking about TSSI and the absolute trash that it's been for 2.5 months. All right, let me take this off. All right, so we got you only left us with 23 minutes before they release our 8 minute, or I guess the FOMC minutes.
What's your bet?
I mean, I think I was saying earlier, I think it's still 25. A lot of people on Twitter are talking about 50 potentially. I think that's just clickbait. It would be shocking if he went with something other than what the market is expecting.
Right. The SIBO number or the CME group number is 90. Yeah. What is it? Like 95% chance of it being 25.
I think that's right.
Crazy.
FedWatch tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, CME FedWatch. Let me pull it up. I can share it.
Mm-hmm.
And will it let you share too?
I can. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go. I got it up. All right. So yeah, it's almost 96% right now for 25 basis points, which that should tell you everything. It's definitely what they're going to get. Like if we got 50, I'm trying to think if you think the market would freak out over that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dude, you know, you scroll on Twitter and you see these like random tweets about just statistics of what happened before, especially like the 2008 crash. Right. I think we lowered rates right before the market tanked, and I think goes to Warren Buffett's quote where like the market's kind of like sex. It's like great up until it's the best up until right before it ends.
Right.
And any sort of like yeah, exactly. Any sort of like too much of a cut when the market's this toppy, like, oh, that'd be so bad.
Yeah, it definitely would not be a good look. It would almost be like it would be an admission that they should have been cutting and they didn't. And it's like a knee jerk now where they're like freaking out, like, oh shit, we've waited too long. And now we have to, it's like the opposite of what happened when they started hiking.
Yeah.
Where they went 75 basis points and then they did 75 basis points like multiple meetings in a row, and everybody's like, oh God, it's way worse than we thought it was. It would be the inverse of that, more or less.
Yeah. In 2018, this was like before I even knew about what options were. Like in 2018, there was like in October, there was like a really big flash crash in the market, and it was because Powell didn't choose to cut rates, or was just speaking of it. He was very hawkish, and then it created one of the biggest flash crashes or biggest dips in my trading career, because that's back then I was probably just like trading stocks at that time. And I could definitely see that happening if they decided for whatever reason they did not cut today, and he just said, you know what, we're going to continue observing. That would be also very bad. So
yes, I totally agree with you on that. So it's like 25 is it's the sweet spot where they haven't, they're not showing their hand that they've messed up, and they're also not, they're acquiescing to what people want, which is, what I personally think we need, which is they need to start the cutting cycle again. Just looking at jobs numbers, they're not great.
Yeah.
The other popular chart that was going around today on the YouTubes, or not the YouTubes, which is probably on there too, but on X, was the Google Trends for mortgages.
Love Google Trends. Love that stuff.
Grain of salt. I used to try and use them to trade things, like based on how the search was going, and it was very rarely reflected in their earnings. So I got burned on that a couple of times, long time ago. But yeah, let's take a look at that. Let's search for mortgage on Google Trends and pull it up. But I think that's another one I think people were looking too much into it. What was it exactly? It was something like refinance mortgage or help with mortgage.
Oh, I saw that. I saw you reply to a tweet, and you're like, "Hey, people."
Yeah. Dude. Here we go. There it is. So here it goes. This is the.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, look, it's like literally peaking out at 2008 levels. Yeah, everybody was freaking out. They're like, and I think yesterday it was trending, like it was showing the trend was going past like 2008 levels. And it's crazy. So if you look at the regions, like this is straight up K-shape economy. Like look at the states that are like where most of the surges are occurring. It's like poor, and I'm from the South, so I can say this.
Okay.
It's like poor southern states, dude. These are like the poorest people in America. Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kentucky. Like, I don't think it's that important. Like, it's like, I think the people who are doing well, or like moderately doing well, they're not the ones searching for this. These are like the bottom. And like, that's not going to impact the market, right? Because those are the people who have the least amount of impact on spending.
Right.
Like they're not driving the economy. Like when you start seeing like the northern states or California and Texas, like at the top of this list, that's when I would be more concerned. And I had that post too on X with the delinquency rates. Like it's just not that bad right now. Like let me share it. So if you look at the delinquency rates for today compared to 2008, like when we peaked, like we're not even close. Like, and the number of foreclosures are not even close. And if you look at the graph for it, like it's just not that bad. Like Google Trends is not really reflecting reality.
Yeah,
for that.
I think a good perspective to have on it though is like a lot of the delinquency and defaulting that happened like 08 and like 09, a lot of those were backed by like really, really bad loans. But the fact that people need help with mortgages on the good loans, or at least the ones that have been accumulating since, things have gone back to more of a normal. These are the good loans that are being defaulted on or that need help with. So yeah, I agree with you on these mortgages probably aren't the ones powered by the people that power the economy. But they are also backed by the good stuff, not the shady stuff no more.
Yeah, it's not subprime lending 2.0 or whatever, AAA. Yeah. Or triple D. It's like a bra size. Yeah. Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
So yeah, the try harder mentions the dot plot here. I think that's probably more important today because 99% sure we get 25 basis. I think it's the summary of economic projections, the SEP, will be more important because it'll tell us what they're like thinking going forward. So like if we got the cut, but then the dot plot is not showing like additional cuts, or it shows a bunch of cuts like soon, then that would be kind of scary.
And that releases in the same report that gets announced.
Yeah, so that'll release it too, and we can pull it up and look at it. And then Powell comes out at 2:30 to chat it up with the press. But we'll know at 2, what they're thinking going forward, just based on that dot plot. Let's see. So I guess before we get to FOMC, you want to talk about the summit?
Dude, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even before the summit, I saw that you got invited to the summit, and I was like, man, dude, I'm like, I want to get invited too. And then I'm like, just like trying to manifest, like, please let me get an invite, and then we could like meet up. And then I'm like, we get all this stuff, and then somehow, some way, I get invited by my personal email. And I'm like thinking, like, how the heck did this happen? It's not through TradeOuter or ThetaGang stuff. And then as soon as I got it, it's almost like it was just like it was go time. And then you texted me, or you messaged me, and then we decided to meet up. And yeah, man, that event was fun.
Yeah, it's so wild that you got the like randomly. So I had actually reached out to the team, like customer support, and was like, hey, I know you guys invite retail to these events. I've followed you for a long time. They're like, yeah, sure, we'll put you on the list, and if we have an opening, we'll invite you. But you got like just randomly, I feel like they found you
super lucky. Yeah. I had met these 2 like older women, like they were like, her name was like Leia, and the other one, I don't remember her name. Super nice. It's the ones that I was waiting in line with for the black square sticker.
Yes.
Yeah. And they were talking to the concierge table, and then they said that they snooped around and asked a few questions and said it was based on trading activity. So maybe a random pool from people that traded a lot on Robinhood. So if anyone is in here, watching the stream and wanting to know how to get to the next Robinhood Summit, I think it's just a lot of high volume. Maybe trading hood at high volume is the trick. But yeah, you also got that really dope the concierge pin.
Yeah, I got
because you're a special guest.
Yeah, I got this badge hanging up here. But yeah, I got this pretty sweet little pin. I don't know when I'd ever wear it, but I felt like extra fancy having my Robinhood concierge pin. Super big.
I did not get it. For those wondering.
You just gotta do more trading, man.
Yeah.
Dude, very high volume. So I'm sure this dude loses a lot of money. So let's give him some of it back.
Yeah. The hotel was nice. It was at the Virgin Hotel in Vegas. Yes. There was a $5 blackjack table there during the day. And I think at night, I think you were playing that too. me and my wife came up, I think like $180, and that was like a lot considering it's like a $5 table, and that was a lot for us.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, dude. I was like, wow. And we do this thing where like she'll play, and then I'll just be over her shoulder, just like kind of coaching her through things. And yeah, trying to coach out the hitting on 17 against the 10, like that sort of stuff. It's fun. Yeah, we've had a lot of good recent luck playing that.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my wife backed out on me. I had the +1 too. That was the other thing that I thought was super nice, was that they gave people the option to do a +1. So
yeah,
they're not just thinking about like their traders. They like actually considered significant others, family members. A lot of folks I met were there with like their dad. Like there was 3 or 4 people there that they were just with their parents that came as their +1, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's really just good free exposure for them, right? Like all these people are going to go back like we are right now and talk about it. And like, it probably costs them a couple grand to put us up and feed us and all that for 2 days. But how much would they pay like a firm to do advertisement for them, like tens of millions of dollars? They probably get more back from having random traders at their event, like as far as like actual bringing people on the platform. So yeah, I was just super smart on their part. And it, like you said, it was very nice. Like, I mean, I'd never stayed at the Virgin. Like, it's not on the Strip and it's not the fanciest hotel in Vegas, but I mean, I thought it was fine. Like, I mean, shit, it was free. Like, I'm not gonna complain, right? It's a free stay.
The stay there was awesome, but also where they had the keynote, they took us by shuttle to the F1 track. Dude, that was really cool. I've never actually, that was really dope. And then seeing everyone as we like walk up the escalator to get in there, and then as soon as we walk in, we actually double fisted like a beer and like a espresso martini. With the Robin Hood logo on it.
Dude, those were so fancy. Like, they were like, I don't know, that venue was awesome. Like I didn't get to do go-karts, but I saw people's videos from doing the go-karts. Like, they ran out of wristbands, which sucked, but that looked really fun. Like, they had the simulated F1 driving that you could do. I actually did do that. That was pretty
cool. Did? Was that comped? Did you have to pay on your own?
I don't know. It was comped. It was free. You just had to wait in line for it.
Oh, damn.
They had like the seats that moved and everything. Like,
so they rented.
Pretty sick.
So for those that are like trying to imagine what it's like, there was like this third upper floor where the keynote happened, and then there's their entire second floor where it was dedicated to like merch for F1 related stuff, and a sim room where there was just like a whole wall full of like these like tens of thousands of dollars like racing sims. I thought that second floor was just random people included, but Robin Hood rented the entire building. And I guess I just now came to that realization. Oh my God.
And it was huge. Like, I walked. So when I left, I walked out like the back door on the very far side, and I walked down. And like, as I was walking, like, it dawned on me, I'm like, this place is massive. Yeah. And they have this, like, the entire length of it is rented out. And like, just to like describe it for people, like, you went in and there were like different rooms on the floor, and each room had like something different in it. Like, they had like picture studios, they had the F1 sims. Then they had like 3 separate rooms with different buffet tables in them, like with different foods that you could go. You didn't go in and eat, did you?
No, I had to go to Bacchanal with the wife.
Oh man, like, I know that was good, but like, it was really good. So they had like a dumpling bar, they had like some Asian fried chicken bar, and then they had another bar, and like each room had its own like food
theme
from a different region, and it had its own bar. I mean, the building's like, I don't know, a quarter of a mile long,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
probably,
Like,
right?
going down the hallway for the bathroom. That's like, yeah,
right.
that was
an
a
eternity.
distance. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that they spent all that money just to have everyone there, like, to talk and hang out, and like, you got to meet people, obviously way more influential than we are, that have been on the Robinhood journey for, the better part of we've been on it for 2.5, 3 years now. So I don't know. It was just really neat. And I really appreciate the fact that they thought about us, put up the money for us to go there. It was just a good experience. And then, like, you had the gold bar giveaway that Nate, who was just in here, I don't know if he's still here, actually won one of the gold bars.
No way.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah. Nate won a freaking gold bar.
Dude.
Like, I was standing to him, and I was just talking about how I was like, man, I never win these things. And they said Nate, and I was like,
you won the Bitcoin the trivia thing.
The trivia, but like, I had to use my brain. Like, I didn't. They didn't give that to me. I had to think.
Relax. You won like what,
dude. That gold bar was like, it was like a $37,000 gold bar.
Oh.
He's got to pay taxes on it, but
that's not like the small dinky.
No, it was like a 10-gram gold bar or something.
Okay,
I think it weighed 40 pounds.
I didn't know that. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad, Nate. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little bit better than winning the Bitcoin trivia. Like,
wow.
37 times better.
Sorry. That was insensitive of me. Now that you've mentioned the numbers, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Like, they called his name out. I was like, what?
Wow. So, yeah. Let me share, or can you put up to the stage my Robinhood thing?
It's up there.
Just so we have something to stem on while we watch. So I'll bring up a chart. Don't mind this.
No, you're good. While you're pulling that up, I'm going to talk about
hell yeah.
The people talking about the gold card in here. Yeah, they're still rolling them out. Like, you just can't, with credit cards, you can't just put a whole bunch of them out at once just because they don't know the, like, economics of it. Like, it would, like, crush them if they put out 2 million cards and then, like, people were defaulting on them. Like, they would just lose their ass. And I actually do have my gold card, and I didn't mean to, but I inadvertently signed up for the real gold card, and I'm already almost at enough points for it. So I think I'm gonna do like a card drop video when that comes in. Joonie, I was just telling them I'm like gonna get the actual gold card here pretty soon.
Is that from the referrals? You get that?
No, I did it through points. And so I think it was like 100,000 points. I mean, it's definitely not like worth it, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I think
it's worth
it is, well, you can't tap to pay. A lot of people told me that at the event. They're like, I love it, but you can't tap to pay with it, which is super annoying. So like if you hand it to somebody, they have to like insert the card for you.
Oh, it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah,
it's fine. Dude, I feel like that's,
but I know people were super annoyed like having to wait on these because it's been over a year now for some people on the wait list. I don't know why I got it. I think it's just kind of random on who gets them. I don't think like Robinhood's prioritizing people or anything.
I do have a
inside source.
Inside source. I can't tell you the relation I have with them, but they can't release it because it's right now it's too good of a deal. The rate at the people that actually sign up for the card, we're already really financially literate, and it's hard to really make margin on people that actually pay off their card on time and all that stuff. So they have to really be methodical on how they release this. And of course, the power users are kind of like your theory about why they hosted their own event instead of paying these ad marketers, or the power users are going to do your marketing for you for free. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And we kind of see SPY kind of spiking up right now too.
Yeah, no, we've got a minute and the stuff's about to drop. So it's either going to spike and then trap people, or it's just going to keep going.
How do you want to do this? Do you actually want to watch him talk? Ooh.
Well, it must have been good.
Yeah. let's look around. Let's look around.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can pull up the minutes. The actual meeting minutes. Yeah. I was gonna wait till 2:30 to do like, because I mean, people were just gonna talk about it. Like they're gonna pull up the minutes and just like say, "Hey, this is what they are."
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. What is today? The 17th.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Projection materials. All right, I'm gonna share screen for a second.
Hell yeah, go for it.
And you keep looking at the SPY because I'm not watching it, so let me know if it does something crazy.
I will.
All
I
right,
will.
Just here we go. So this is the SEP that just came out like now. So they're looking at
make it bigger, like
okay,
press Control plus or whatever. Yeah. Command plus, Control plus, whatever side you're on.
Wait, am I not doing it? There we go.
Nice.
This is the side that matters anyways. So unemployment doesn't really look, I mean, 4.5, that's pretty bad actually. The PCE inflation, 3.1, but going out, like you look, I mean, that's pretty, next year, 2.6. So they're thinking about getting to target in like 2027 for inflation. I had to go back and look and see what it was before. I don't know what they had at the last meeting. Actually, let's see. Let's try to remember these numbers. So I know, here you go. They had the June projection. So they've gone up on GDP. Maybe that's what the market liked. So they're actually projecting higher real GDP across the board.
Is that not always the case?
I mean, no.
You gotta help educate me on this on the big boy numbers stuff.
GDP, I mean, it fluctuates. So they adjust these every time they release the SEP. So really it's dependent upon how the economy is actually doing since the last meeting. So the June meeting, they were only projecting 1.4 for this year. So they've actually gone up. And then they've also gone up next year and the following year. Unemployment rate, it looks like they're not expecting a big change there. Slightly higher. Actually, no, slightly lower, which the market should like.
Yeah.
And then PCE, they actually have that up a little bit next year. But other than that, it's pretty much unchanged.
PCE is inflation with everything included.
And yes. Core, and then core is like the volatile things, like they take out like energy from that. I can't remember if housing is part of that too, that they take out. Yeah, 4.5% unemployment. Yeah. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see, because what are we at right now for unemployment? 4.1, 4.2, I think.
I don't remember the last report.
So they're actually thinking it goes up through the end of this year and then starts coming back down next year.
Yeah, maybe they want some of the rate cut to take effect first, and then that's what they're banking on.
Yeah, but there's nothing scary here for the unemployment rate. I mean, if you just look at this, it looks like they're not really expecting a huge change longer term. And it looks like they're still expecting a slight uptick in PCE and then start going down again, which I think tracks with the transitory tariff inflation. You want to call it that? I know they don't use that word anymore. Here's the dot plot. Yeah, they don't like to say transitory.
No, yeah, I'm guilty though. I said it a lot too. Yeah. It's just transitory, brothers. It's okay. We're good. We're fine.
All right. So here's the dot plot. So this is what I think everybody always gets excited about, and Carlos actually just mentioned it. So they're going to do 2 more cuts in 2025, which I think is more than people thought we're going to get. And that's another reason why the market is ripping right now. Good Lord. Okay, the SPY is, and it's only up 0.25%, but that's a huge like move on the 5-minute chart. Let me see what Let's see what the high beta stuff is doing. Sorry,
down. Take me for a ride
here. But anyways, that he basically just said what the dot plot's showing. So there's this changed. They're moving it up. You're going to get 2 additional cuts this year. I think previously they were only projecting 1. So we got 1 today. We're going to get 2 more. So that's 3 cuts this year. I think that we probably get 25 will be our 50. So market likes that, obviously. Here, I'm gonna add your chart back to stage since you have it up.
Down.
Pull up like let me think of something. Pull up like the crypto. We know SPY is running. What's like Ethereum and Bitcoin look like on this?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What?
Wait, no.
What? Is Robinhood's kind of?
It might be glitching because that's why I asked you to do it, because mine wasn't working either.
Wow. Wait, hold on.
Everybody's on there trying to trade right now, man.
I know, honestly. Like, this is.
Oh man, my BMNR calls are gonna get rinsed. The ones that I sold 60s. They're gonna probably get caught away this week if this keeps going. Oh, there you go.
Wow.
No,
dude,
it's still not
right.
working.
Yeah, let me click on here. I got it. So if it's on a watch list, it'll come up. Let me go to some non-degenerate time frame.
You don't want to do the 1 second?
The 2 tick?
Yeah. So
Bitcoin,
like,
still down.
Bitcoin's
still down.
What's Ethereum doing? I think that one's probably more of a that's a weird move, down and then right back up.
Yeah, long.
So it's not really moving much.
Lots of volume on that though.
Yeah. SPY trying to give it back a little bit.
You know what is up though? BMNR. BMNR.
Yeah, it's so weird. So this thing, it doesn't even like trade with Ethereum half the time. So Ethereum was red yesterday and BMNR was up 5%. And I was like, wow, this doesn't make sense. It's the Tom Lee effect.
Yeah. I think Slow was just mentioning Mag 7 down, small caps up, and
that makes sense though, right?
I could see that, yeah. Like eBay, you know.
Yeah,
American Eagle, Vinny Sweeney. Look at this.
Yes.
Crazy. What is this, man? Bless her. You're crazy.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Everybody needs to use her as ad. I mean, obviously the ads work. Apparently,
the rage bait, it works, brother. And
yes, it does.
Yeah, that's the new meta. It's the new meta. She posed as like a ballerina, acted as a ballerina.
Oh, people got so butthurt about that.
Oh my god, you're not giving chances to a real ballerina.
I'm pretty sure that's never been the case. Just, they're looking for an actor, not an actual ballerina.
Oh my god. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, SPY is now back down to flat. Almost down.
I mean, we got what we thought. Like the market was already expecting 25. We got 25. I don't know. The fact that we're going to get 1 extra cut this year, I don't know. I mean, it's not like something crazy happened. It's more or less what the market was expecting. Oh yeah, Slow. I actually live at American Eagle now. That's where I sleep in the evenings. Right under the Sweeney display.
The next Robinhood Summit is inside American Eagle.
Dude, could you imagine if they got her to come to the next summit? The demand for like a ticket to that would be insane. I'd probably sell my ticket for like $1 million to some
dude. Okay, well, I wouldn't sell my ticket for $1 million. Let's just say that, dude. Oh my god, that would be.
Just might send Vlad a tweet and be like, "Hey man, you should probably do this."
That would be really good. You know, did you happen to see anybody like a celebrity at Hood Summit, or it was really just like regular traders, right? Like we were just a lot of the FinTwit people.
It's other than I guess define celebrity. I mean, I guess some of them are like minor celebrities now, like the FinTwit folks. The regular finance people like CNBC hosts were there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vlad himself, obviously, he's basically a celebrity now. But no, like not a traditional sense, like who you would consider a celebrity. I mean, they really was like retail focused, which was nice. I don't think they need that though, really.
No, they don't. It was a really diverse crowd. You and I were talking about that sitting at the keynote. It was like people of all ages, people of all races. It was like, whoa. It was cool. And it had to have been done on purpose. Like that was just a really great spread of people.
Yeah, the demographics, they probably used AI to scavenge their user base and pull demographics. They probably use Cortex. They're like, hey, give me a good mix of our traders. Here's the data.
Like, don't get me started on Cortex. That stuff, asking Cortex to draw the breakout points and all these technical indicators, like custom indicators from prompting. Dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know how crazy it'll get. Like, how specific do you think you'll be able to be with those prompts and get like, really specific indicators?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, show me, stocks that are breaking out above their 50-day today that were also below their 200-day within the last 6 weeks that are also less than a 20 PE, that are like, if you put all of that in, will it actually be able to go and find that? Because you could,
I think it will be able to do that.
Endless, right?
Yeah, I feel like it will be able to do that. I think it's going to actually really put some companies that have that as their thing that they do. I think it's going to heavily impact them, because I know there are a few services out there you could pay for to get alerted when RSI is, or not RSI, rather, like when MACD crosses over positively, bouncing off the 50 EMA. I know a service that can do that, and it's like $120 a month. And I could definitely see with how we saw Cortex work at the keynote, it seems really easy to do. Like in terms of like, if you have the data, you just create like this like box that that Cortex can think in for each parameter, and you just stack them on top and filter out one by one step. I have full belief that it's going to work the way that we think it will, because they just got really smart people there anyway.
What do you think about because you're a software engineer, what do you think about Slow's question there about, I guess it's kind of like hallucinations? How concerned would you be about that and not being able to verify it?
Yeah, I think, well, we did see at the keynote, they presented the graph. We saw Cortex draw the indicators on the graph, but it also printed out, I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure it wasn't PineScript, but it looked like a good bit of code that was printed out in the result. And if you are adept at coding, you can debug it yourself. But knowing Robinhood, I don't think they would show you the code. That's just not how you present a final product to a regular user. So they're not going to expect you to learn how to code and be able to double verify it. I'm pretty sure they're just going to put checks and stop to make sure that they're checking it on their own.
Right. Their API has never been open source. Right. So, which was weird, because I told you about the guy that said that they were doing the hedge fund that was being allowed to use algos to program on top of their API, which I wasn't familiar with that being possible. But I guess maybe if you got enough money and you're important enough, maybe you can work with Robinhood and they'll let you do those sorts of things. I don't know. Yeah. If you're like institutional, because they probably do want to get more institutions on their platform. SPY is taking a poop right now.
It is.
I'd say that it's down like 0.25%, which is like nothing. This is such a FOMC move. Like,
it is
on the initial minutes and then dump before Powell speaks, and then watch it do something completely different. Like, I actually think I'm going to close. I'm going to close my BMNR covered calls here. I'm going to do it on my phone because I'm just too stupid to do it on Legend. I know how to, but
You're the best mobile trader I know, brother. You're the you have that title in my heart, in my mind, in my soul. You have it 100%.
Like this just feels like they trapped people on the release. Now they're gonna trap people before Powell comes out, and then it's gonna rip again for some reason afterwards.
You are the only reason why Trade Otter is as mobile friendly as it is.
I know. I feel bad. I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. I need you to be able to.
It's so good
to make this idiot.
I do wonder where the rest of the day will go. I mean, I'm pretty 50-50 on a lot of the positions that I'm currently winning on. I told myself I wouldn't overtrade today either. Like I told myself, I'm like, I'm gonna be on stream with man. I'm probably gonna get excited. Gotta be mindful of that. It's just I have this put debit spread on QQQ that is coming back. It's coming back. I don't know. Almost 1% down is kind of crazy. Following that news.
Yeah, I mean, we went up a half. Now we're down. We're soon to be down a half. So like it's been a swing of 1% from top to bottom here in 15 minutes that happened.
Right. I'm just not a huge fan of adding on to a long option play.
It's like super volatile right now.
That too. Yeah. I mean, imagine tomorrow nothing happens. Your volatility gets thrashed. It's like
I mean now is probably a good time to sell options.
Yeah.
If you're confident that it's not just gonna crater when he comes out and starts talking, which it's like you said, it's a coin flip.
It is. I mean, sometimes he says some stuff and the market likes it, and but we just have very selective memory on what hurts us. A lot of us get hurt when the market goes down, and that's unfortunately what we remember the most.
Can you trade futures on Legend yet? That's a good question.
How do I?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Do /ES.
Yep, I'm on it. Oh, that's my positions tab. Oops.
Yeah, but if you go to the chart, yeah. There you go. Futures contract. All right, Joonie, how much cash you got available?
No.
It's time to go long.
I refuse. I can't. No.
I think you only need like 42K to go long.
I don't want to be an options trader or a futures trader. I want to be a dancer. Oh.
Yeah. So futures is there. What else was coming out immediately? Futures was one of the things, and then God, what did they
shorting was announced to be soon, I think.
Yes.
And then custodial accounts.
Yeah, somebody asked about custodial. So multiple accounts is already out. I don't know if you can do that in Legend, but I know you can do it on mobile because I already created a social account. So what I think I'm gonna do is create a social and put like 10% of my portfolio in it, and then use that because we get first access to Robinhood Social
right
when it rolls out in January.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna have a separate account for that. But yeah, it's live. You can do it now. I don't know if there's a way to do it on Legend, but you can definitely do it on mobile.
You ever seen VIX do something like this before?
I mean, it's 16. It's not that crazy, right?
No, but I mean, like, look at this.
The wick
handle.
Up and down.
Yeah. What the heck? That's crazy. I have never seen this.
It's just mirroring the move we just had on SPY, pretty much.
Oh man.
Is that the daily candle or no? It's hour.
This is the hourly candle. Daily. This could be the top. Who knows? Maybe it is a good time to start selling. My portfolio is kind of coming back. SPY down 0.20.
I think I just have a hard time seeing rate cuts as a negative when employment's still in the low 4%, which historically is not bad at all, and earnings are still good. Like, I want to see something break down first. I mean, it might be too late at that point, but I'd rather have confirmation than sell now, and then the market goes up another 15% into the end of the year. I'd be so mad if I got out and that happened.
Right now, like even I always have to go to this view to look at the year-to-date stuff. But if I go here and I go to SPY, if you're just someone that kind of sets it and forgets it, and we all have friends like this, especially if you're just trading on your own and putting the trades into your own hands. We all have a friend that puts it into SPY. That friend right now is doing 11.66% for the year, which is honestly amazing. And maybe even more so if they were just continually adding on this down wave, because that's all they know how to do is like they set that interval where they keep buying more, and they're doing really, really well. So
my managed account is only doing 10.8. My managed account on Robinhood is underperforming SPY right now. So sad.
Shh, don't say that. We won't get
Yeah, sorry.
Malt Man, good morning.
What's up, Malt Man?
Yeah.
And we got Legacy Architect in here too, who we met at the summit.
Did Legacy ask a question during the 5 trader panel?
I don't know.
Did you ask? I'm trying to put your face to the experience. I feel like you asked a question, but maybe I'm like remembering wrong. Yes. Yes, he did. He did. I remember See, nice. Awesome. From that panel, we learned how to do 0 DTE short iron condors on SPX. I've written 2 of those since the conference, one on both of them. $400 in my pocket, $200 each. It really was eye-opening because they tell you that namely the Asian dude, he was just like, you already have your risk defined, so you might as well be willing to have it go to 0. And when we're learning how to do options trading, and it's very volatile, and you learn to you gotta take your profits when you can, and you gotta be safe with stop losses. It was really refreshing to just really be there and get the information face to face. And I thought that was a really digestible for me, where sometimes I'm on YouTube and I hear people say no stop loss, do this. I'm like, no, dude, whatever. But I will say that was a huge benefit for me, especially going to Robinhood Summit and then be able to hear that live from people willing to actually trade on screen. That very unique experience. I loved it.
And I think just hearing it from people and getting those insights from really experienced people, because you've been doing this for a super long time now. Well, what, 6-7 years at least?
Yeah. What's a long time now? Yeah.
Right. But some of those folks have been doing it for 30 years. The SIBO luncheon that I went to, and the lady who manages I don't know, $50 billion. Just hearing her talk about how they manage risk is so much over anything that we could that's what she led off with. She's like, I manage this department, and it's $50 billion. And I'm like, wow. She's like, yeah, so my understanding of risk is probably a lot different than the people in this room, with maybe $1 million account. And it's just their strategies. We know so little, I think, about how to actually effectively trade the markets. Obviously you're doing really well this year, and you've always done really well with I guess originally the ThetaGang style, and now you're not really a traditional ThetaGang investor anymore. But
you opened my eyes to that. You really, it was you're
a combination. There was a couple of guys I feel in our in our group, and then the Best Loser Wins book, I think, had a big impact on people about hitting really big on trades. And
so good. Such a good book.
Yeah. For anyone that hasn't read that, that's watching this, definitely need to read Best Loser Wins. It's gives you just a very different perspective, like on how you should trade and how you should treat winners and losers.
It's written like your friend is talking to you, and I think that's what I really needed at the time for my intro to reading. Because if you know me, I'm not a reader. I'm just not. I'm more like a YouTube documentary on like second monitor type person. But I read like the first chapter of it through a sample, and I was like, okay, I could get into this one. And yeah, it's the writing style that really got me to read the entire thing. It's really good. And we're not sponsored by Tom Hoogard.
No.
Down though. Down. Very
if
down.
Tom does want to give us a sponsorship or bring us on the talk. Speaking of somebody who trades with insane size, like on his trades that we could never comprehend, he's one of those. I think he's blown his accounts up before though too, so we can also relate to that, which is kind of cool.
He talks about that. Yeah. Some of the one page, maybe 2 pages, he talks about this section. It really resonated with me. He would print out charts on paper, and how he had his chart was how we see it right here on Robinhood. No indicators, just the price going up and down, and he just like draw patterns on it. And he would just trade with as little indicators and as little data as possible. And that was coming out at a time where I felt like a lot of people are really getting into indicators and all these extra services. And the book really just hit home at a time where we really needed to step on the gas pedal, which you did really well with Robinhood. Still, that is probably going to be your lasting legacy, unless if you just hit it out the park with some crazy thing next. But I thought that was just a beautiful example of execution, conviction, adding on to something when it got even more scary to hold on, and done simply too. Like oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think because we have so much, to your point, talking about like his using like lack of indicators, we have so much access now to
everything,
right?
Yeah.
Like 20 years ago, people didn't have access to any of this crap. And I mean, you like just look at Cortex, right? You're going to be able to ask it to do anything you could possibly imagine that you want it to do as far as analysis or doing indicators or deep dives on a stock. And that only helps you to a point. I feel like you really need to have an underlying like belief in a company. Like obviously fundamentals need to be good.
Yes.
But like when I got into Robinhood, like the fundamentals weren't that great. Like they were coming around and they had flipped, like they had just flipped net income positive. And sometimes you need to have like a belief in it beyond just like what you see in front of you.
Right.
Demographics, like, generational type things, like, who the audience is for whatever that company is selling, like the time that you live in, it needs to be applicable, going forward. Like what do you think people are going to like or want to use? Like a lot of people
from a product mindset,
right? From a product mindset, a lot of people hate on Robinhood because it was, would always say, it's just a pretty user interface.
Yeah.
But like what people I think missed, and I think it's older people mostly, is just like stuff like that matters in this day and age with younger.
No one wants to log into Vanguard.
No. And like making things simple, like for people, like those things matter so much.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, maybe because society is just getting dumber, so we need it to be simplified for us. But these Gen Z kids these days can't read a book. We need to spell it out for them. But I mean, it's just stuff like companies that really excel in those areas. Like those are the ones doing well right now. Like look at like American Eagle, right? They understand like what is popular right now for their audience. They understand who is popular. Sydney Sweeney literally doubled this stock. It was at like $10 and it's at 20 now since they rolled out that program. And really, it wasn't popular. Like you said, there was a lot of haters. Like, it's using a really pretty popular person was unpopular, as weird as that sounds. Like, society had gotten into this like positivity body image thing, and like it seems like an obvious bet to like just use her for your campaign. But that's not what anyone was doing. And they chose to do that knowing probably that they were going to get backlash for it. And they did it anyways, and it like doubled their stock price. Like, it worked out great for them.
You know what that teaches us is, like, sometimes we get really caught up in these waves of like memes and ad campaigns, and then we'll go to like Reddit, and then on Reddit you'll just see people complaining. But what Reddit is just, it's just and no hate to people that use Reddit. Love y'all. I love everybody.
I still use Reddit. I mean,
yeah, if you go on Reddit though and you search for negative opinion on anything, you will find it. So it's very, very, I think, very toxic to do due diligence on, because you're going to always be able to find the negative bias that you want to look for. I want to quickly share, because I played American Eagle from 13 to 19, and that made a good chunk for me. I want to share a trick that I do with share this tab instead. Share a trick for Google Trends. So a lot of people might use Google Trends in a way where Sydney Sweeney comes on, and you're like, oh, I wonder if American Eagle will do well. So you just look for American Eagle. And then maybe you like zoom out to 12 months and just see where it's at. This graph is okay, but it kind of encompasses everything. It encompasses like the bad press, good press. It encompasses like customer support. If you want to know the American Eagle phone number, the one trick that I found that worked for me the best is if you're ever looking for a retail location, near me has been working the best. And this is of course leading up to the huge rally that it had. But if we go 90 days, there's like overcoming spike of American Eagle near me where we hit the normal November Black Friday and Christmas sales
at a random time during the year.
Yeah. In August. Like, what is that? You know?
That's so 100%.
Yeah. And then you're going to hit that again on Black Friday and Christmas. And that was not accounted for in the stock at all. But if you went on Reddit and you were looking for people not supporting this or whatever, you're going to find it, and it's going to make you sway you off the bet. So there are clever ways that you can add like near me versus just American Eagle. This wouldn't be nearly as telling. Like, sure, yes, this was American Eagle being very popular, but this includes a lot of the bad press and good
stuff. It's like not somebody who's actually looking to go buy their stuff.
Correct. It's
right. You're typing it near me. It's because you want to go to the store to buy it, right?
Exactly.
And that is what's going to make their earnings better.
Yeah.
Right. Then All right. So Tao is talking. Let me see if I can.
If you want to pull it up, we can listen.
We'll listen to them. And I may have to drop in like 15 minutes, but I'll leave you on and come back.
Okay.
I have to just get my my kid from school.
Hell yeah.
1 second.
We love education.
But it's like 10 minutes from here.
Okay.
Let's see what Papa Powell's saying.
Okay.
Can you hear him?
In the labor market, the unemployment rate edged up to 4.3% in August.
Maybe a little bit higher on the volume bar.
At a relatively low level. Payroll job gains have slowed significantly to a pace of just 29,000 per month over the past 3 months. A good part of the slowing likely reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force due to lower immigration and lower labor force participation. Even so, labor demand has softened, and the recent pace of job creation appears to be running below the break-even rate needed to hold the unemployment rate constant. In addition, wage growth has continued to moderate while still outpacing inflation. Overall, the marked slowing in both the supply of and demand for workers is unusual. In this less dynamic and somewhat softer labor market,
it's because
the
he's a robot.
risks to employment appear to have risen.
His tie is purple.
The median projection for
the unemployment
rate is 4.5% at the end of this year and edges down.
The SPY is dumping because the purple tie.
Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer run goal. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index and other data indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.7%.
I love reading the comments in these videos.
Dude.
Excluding the volatile food
and a whole bunch of
PC just up to 74K in 19 seconds.
2.9%. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up. In contrast,
somebody literally just asked the same thing that Slow said. Is this guy AI ?
Near-term measures of inflation expectations have moved up on balance over the course of this year on news about tariffs, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures.
I see too many AI-generated stuff on Wall Street Bets
however,
to trust anything that's on there, dude.
Longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 3.0% this year and falls to 2.6% in 2026 and to 2.1% in 2027. Our monetary policy actions are guided by a dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices.
I feel like compared to what he looked like
at today's
years
meeting,
ago,
the committee decided to lower the target
this
range
man's
for the
going
federal
through
funds rate by a 0.25 percentage point to 4 to 4.25%, and to continue reducing the size of our balance sheet. Changes to government policies continue to evolve, and their effects on the economy remain uncertain. Higher tariffs have begun to push up prices in some categories of goods, but their overall effects on economic activity and inflation remain to be seen. A reasonable base case is that the effects on inflation will be relatively short.
So what I've been doing for that
one-time
is
shift in the price level.
Just selling covered calls.
It is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead
I have
be more persistent,
further dated.
That is
I'm just selling weekly covered calls for premium.
To pay it off, for a free bet.
One-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem.
And the premiums are so high.
In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside.
A month or
a challenging situation.
I'll pay for the entirety
our goals
of
are intentional
our long calls that don't.
Our framework calls for us to balance both sides of our dual mandate.
That's the way to do it. I think that's
downside
the
risks to employment having increased.
I think that's the
balance
fund manager way.
Yeah,
Delta neutral, getting to Delta
judged
neutral.
Appropriate at this meeting to take another step toward a more neutral policy stance. With today's decision,
Bitcoin this week
we
has
remain
not
well
been doing that
positioned to
good.
respond in a timely way to potential
I think
economic
Bitcoin is
until
like,
yesterday.
Continue to
Actually,
determine the
so
appropriate
recent.
stance of monetary policy based
it's
on
weird
the
to me
incoming data,
that
the evolving outlook.
it's not really done anything, and gold is like ripping
in our
higher.
SEP. FOMC,
Is it?
FOMC
You look at
participants wrote down
GLD
their
for
individual
gold?
assessments of an
Yeah,
appropriate path for the
You can
federal
look
funds
at
rate.
it. So
Based on
Bitcoin
what each participant judges
has been
as the
ranging
most
for
likely
a
scenario for the
while.
economy.
What, like
Mhm.
2 months
The
probably?
median participant
Oh, wow,
projects that
gold
the
is up,
appropriate
yeah.
level of the federal funds
Gold
rate will be
is
3.6% at the end
breaking
of this year,
out.
3.4% at the end of 2026,
Gold has gone up
and
from
3.1% at the end of
300
2027. This
to
path is 1/4
almost
percentage point lower
340
than
in
projected
the
in June.
last
As is always
20
the case,
days. While
these
Bitcoin has
individual
gone
forecasts
nowhere
are subject to
in the last 20
uncertainty,
days.
and they're not a committee plan or decision. Policy is not
Just kinda
on a preset
concerning.
course.
Gold
Is
to
there a
me is
way?
The Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary
Is there a
policy,
way you can
maximum
make this
employment and
layout
stable prices.
into
We remain committed
two
to
more
supporting
halves? Like
maximum
put Powell
employment,
on top and
bringing
then have us
inflation sustainably to
look
our
at stuff
inflation
on the
goal,
one
and
below
keeping longer-term inflation expectations well
with
anchored.
us on the side of the screen.
Our success in delivering on
That's asking
goals
for a
matters
lot,
to
I know.
all Americans. We understand that our
Before
actions
presenting a
affect
screen,
communities,
remove other media
families,
streams
and
from the
businesses
stage, so
across
it
the
won't let
country.
us do it.
Wait, like what if
Everything
I
we do
do
is in service to our public mission, and we at the Fed
this?
will do everything we can to achieve our
Does
maximum
that change
employment
anything?
and price stability goals.
Mhm.
Thank you. I look forward to our discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I try to add a screen and makes me stop.
As you know, Fed Governor Stephen Myron has kept his position at the White House, even as he's joined the Fed board. This is the first time.
What's the VIX doing? I wonder.
It's down. It's down like 2%.
Does this compromise the Fed's independence from day-to-day
politics?
politics?
0.79. It just updated. Holy crap.
Yeah, perception the Fed is
it should be up because the market is
dynamic. Thank you.
Go on. So we did welcome a new committee member today.
Why was I so behind?
And the committee remains united in pursuing our mandate.
0.55%.
We're strongly committed to maintaining our independence, and beyond that, I really don't have anything to share.
Yeah, you tell him, Powell.
You and other Fed officials have spoken extensively about the impact of tariffs on inflation.
Can you imagine having this job?
Although perhaps
people just try and gaslight you like for an hour, trying to crash, trying to destroy this country.
That's all they do during this Q&A is like try to get a gotcha question in there for him to screw something up. And he has before. Remember what was it like?
You know, it's certainly
2023 or whenever when that.
We're beginning to see
we have begun to see that dude asked that question. He was like the last guy to ask a question. Whatever he asked,
actually,
like
the increase in goods prices,
his response
accounts for most of the increase in inflation, or perhaps all of the increase in inflation. Oh
my God! No,
at the end of the call.
Wow,
those are not very large effects at this point, and we do expect them to continue to build over the course of the rest of the year and into next year. And you know, it's also possible and that there may be effects on employment, but that I would say if you're looking at why
I'm actually in the process
much more about the change in immigration. So
rolling over my 401k into Robinhood right now.
Way down. There's very little growth.
That transfer is easy. I love how
I just changed. I know I told you I just changed jobs, so that means old employee to the point old employers available to
what
roll.
I'll call a curious balance. It's, you know, typically when we say
I initiated it when it was still a 2% match. I'm curious to see if they'll still give it to me.
Quite sharply. Now
I started the rollover before the program ended, so I don't know if I'll still get it or not.
Is the match by your employer through the platform or through?
No, Robinhood will give me 2%.
Oh, you're talking about the
rollover.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it would.
I don't think we can say that. What we can say.
What did he just say?
That is over the course of this year, we've kept our policy at a restrictive level, and people have different views, but a clearly restrictive level, I would say. So, and we were able to do that over the course of this year because the labor market was in very solid condition with strong job creation.
Trying to imply labor market's not strong.
I think if you go back to April and now look at the revised job creation numbers for
alluding to a little right now
and August, you can I can no longer say that. So what that means is that the risks were clearly tilted toward inflation. I would say they're moving toward equality. Maybe they're not quite out of equality. We don't need to know that, but we do know that they've moved meaningfully toward greater equality, the risks between the two goals, and that suggests that we should be moving in the direction of neutral, and that's what we did today.
So jobs are in danger and inflation is not in danger now.
He's recognizing that both are a threat.
Entertained at your meeting this week.
There wasn't widespread support at all for a 50 basis point cut today. You know, I think we've done very large rate hikes and very large rate cuts in the last 5 years, and you tend to do those at a time when you feel that policy is out of place and needs to move quickly to a new place. That's not at all what I feel certainly now. I feel like our policy has been doing the right thing so far this year. I think we were right to wait
to
see how tariffs and inflation.
I tried to get him to say it there, like you were talking about.
We're now reacting to, to the much lower level of job creation and other evidence of softening in the labor market, and saying, well, those risks are.
But this isn't like we know this already. This isn't anything new. Like we know the jobs market is soft. So him going up there and saying it is like whatever. Like
Colby Smith for the New York Times. Should we be viewing today's cut as the committee taking out some insurance against the possibility that the labor market is at risk of weakening, or is it the committee's view that the dynamics of a downturn are already in place? I guess I'm just trying to square the shift in the rate forecast in the SEP towards more cuts than just 3 months ago, with the fact that the forecast for unemployment didn't change.
It's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, I think you can think of this in a way as a risk management cut, because if you
It's
look
like
at
the
the
same
S&P,
question
actually,
phrased different ways 100 times.
Yeah.
the projections for growth this year and next actually ticked up just a little bit.
And the way he's able
Inflation
to
and
say a
unemployment didn't
different
really move much.
answer,
So what's
like,
different
every
now? What's
time.
different
It's
now?
just
He
is
does
you
the
can
same
see
thing, right?
A very
Says a
different
different, but
picture of
says
the
the same
risks to the
thing.
labor market.
Rarely
We've
does he
seen,
screw up and say
you know,
something
we were looking at 150,000 jobs a month
or
at the
that
time of the
breaks
last
character,
meeting,
I guess.
and now we see the revisions and we see the new numbers. And I don't want to put too much emphasis on payroll job creation, but it's just one of the things that suggests that the labor market is really cooling off, and that tells you that it's time to take that into account in our in our policy.
Yeah, dude, you should have been taking that into
The
account.
S&P,
Like
once
3
again, the
months
median
ago.
participant has inflation higher than previously expected by the end of next year, and the Fed not getting back to the 2% target until 2028. So I guess I'm just wondering how you characterize the risk to price pressures.
Well,
of
2.1 in
kicking off a
2027,
series of
but
cuts
you know,
this year.
Right.
what's
So
what's point
Yeah,
one?
so
What's point one?
right.
I would look at
I
it
mean,
this way.
2.1
We
is basically
we fully
anything in the
understand and
twos is,
appreciate
in my
that
opinion,
we
is
need
basically
to
target.
remain fully
Yeah.
committed to
You know, 0.5% of
2%
inflation doesn't
2%
really matter that
inflation
much.
on a sustained basis, and we will do that. At the same time, we've got to weigh the risks to the two goals, and I would say since April, to me, the risks of higher and more persistent inflation have probably become a little less, and that's partly because the labor market has softened, GDP growth has slowed.
So it's a little less for all the wrong reasons.
So I would just say that
Like not the good.
that the risks there have been less than one might think. And in terms of the labor market, what we're seeing is unemployment is still low. It's still a relatively low rate.
Yeah,
I'm Mindy,
like historically,
and
unemployment
I'm a
is
meathead.
still unmuted.
I went to this place.
Did that mute it for you? Or can you still hear it?
Yes, it's muted.
Okay. I can
Dude,
still
having
hear
an
it.
ad play during
As long as y'all aren't hearing it.
this is crazy.
I know. Oh, there we go.
If you think that most of what's happening in the employment area is related to immigration, which
So we are sitting right on.
how do you see?
So I have pivot points on my chart now.
Then inflation,
Or
which
like
has remained
support 1, 2, 3,
almost a full
resistance
percentage
1,
point
2,
above
3.
your target.
Well, I was saying
like
that what's happening in the
exactly
labor
off
market has
of
more to do with immigration than it
support
has to do
3.
with tariffs.
So the
That was
lowest
the
support
question I was
level for the
answering.
daily.
So I wouldn't say that all
Like,
of what's
it's
happening in the labor market is
scary
due to
how
tariffs. I mean, you clearly have a slowing in it due to
I'm down
immigration.
to
You
look
clearly
at
have
it
a slowing
after.
in demand,
Yeah,
which
we
is
can
now
check
perhaps more than that in supply, and we know that because the unemployment rate has ticked up. So
will it let you
that's how
control
that's what I
my
meant by that.
screen?
We can follow up.
So if I have to leave
Every
for
year
a few
since
minutes and come back,
2015,
will
the
you be able
S&P has
to
forecasted
remove
you would
it
hit
or
your
pause
target
it?
2 years later.
Your
this year,
screen?
This
No.
SEP says you're going to hit your target 2
You
years
want to
later.
flip it over so that you can
2%
control
does
it?
not seem to be in sight. Does that
So I just need to
suggest
share
that
one
a
window.
2% target
and
is
then
not really achievable?
Let me.
And does this present any
let me
credibility
share
problems
Robinhood, I guess.
for
Share
you
screen.
in telling people
Share screen,
that that's what
Robinhood,
you're going to do
share.
if you can never reach it?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
you're
And
right. It
then
does say we're going to get
before
hit
you
with
leave, just
2%
put me on
inflation in
stage, I guess, and then
2028
I could take it from there.
But that's literally how you put the projections together. You're writing
I
down
doubt they
a
say
rate
anything
path,
other than
which
trying
is
to like
designed to create
trick
over
him
the
into
course of
saying the wrong
S&P
thing. I mean, we already
time
have
frame,
the gist of it.
2%.
Yeah.
So for those that were watching, to summarize it, like they cut what we knew they were, and for the reasons we knew they would, which is the labor market is cooling. He acknowledged it and more or less just said that they want to start erring on the side of caution with cuts because they are more concerned about the jobs market than they were 2 months ago.
That's a beautiful summary. I don't know if AI could have done it better. Gonna be
Oh,
honest.
it definitely can. I use it all the time. Yes. All right, I'm going to step out for a second, but I'll be right back. I'll remove myself. I'm going to recuse myself from this. I'll see you in a minute.
I will be right here. I'll be right here.
Cool.
Let me just do a quick intro. I'm Joonie, because I know a lot of you are actually from Mez's side or Joshua's side. I'm a friend that we've been friends for a while, maybe since 2020, and we initially met each other like learning about ThetaGang strategies. So a lot of cash secured puts and covered calls, and sometime during, I think maybe 2023, Mez started learning more and more about like long calls and making like shares work. And by that time, a lot of us in this trading group have been just doing cash secured puts and covered calls. But he was one of the first of us to really branch out and really try and hone in on a system. And yeah, from 2023 on, he had that Robinhood run. Still, I mean, it just sounds like I'm gassing him up because we're both on the stream at the same time. But really, you know, I doubt he's gonna watch this VOD backwards. So this is just me gassing him up and glazing him while he's gone. So the amount of impact he's had on my trading career is just it's just immense. The level of confidence I have opening long calls before and after him is just insane. A lot of that, you know, a lot of what I sort of might have provided for, I think, Meh during, you know, when we were in that group together was, I think what makes me stand out the most is my ability to sort of trade through really, really bad times. I think I got like, not famous by any means, but I got a following started from trading through COVID. I had like a podcast and everything. I'm not gonna shill it here, but for those that have been following me for a while, know I recorded like a weekly podcast and released it every week, talking about my thoughts and how I was feeling during COVID and just trading through all of that. You'll see here that this year I'm up 37%. And yeah, just like everybody, I had a pretty rough February, but besides that, I didn't have like some massive drawdown that you see like on a lot of people's X feeds. I think a lot of people on X, you know, I don't want to scroll on X with, you know, there could be crazy stuff that'll fly on the screen. But there's a lot of screenshots going around lately, especially like with Wall Street Bets, right? You see all those giant V shapes from this February, March, and April from all the tariff stuff. One of my main strengths, the ability to stay calm, keep a positive attitude. And if I were to have this spotlight, you know, while Meh is gone, is that mentality takes you really far, really, really far. So even on days like today, where SPY is down like 0.72, you know, we've done the homework. We already knew that there could be a big event happening today. So for those that are like, you know, trading every day, that you want to have open covered calls to some degree, you want to have like cash on the side ready to go. We're not freaking out. We didn't make a 50-50 bet at all bet on FOMC going up or down. You know, some of this stuff starts to sound really obvious to those that have been trading for a while. But if you're newer, you know, maybe it's not as obvious. You're like, oh, it's only $1,000. Why don't, you know, I worked, you know, half a summer for this $1,000, you know, and I feel like SPY might go up because we're going to cut rates, and then something like this happens, and then, you know, you get your feelings hurt. So you try to keep a positive attitude long enough so you can survive to learn the lessons, because we know it. Like in the stock market, lessons aren't free. You don't learn anything by paper trading. I've had that opinion forever. You don't learn anything paper trading. Like the numbers look great, like you are locked in with your thesis, but if you're not losing real money, you can't learn the emotional part, which is the hardest part of trading. Is like, this number's red, it makes me feel scared. Yeah, I don't like this feeling, so I'm gonna close out everything and then make the bleeding stop, and that feels better. And then it starts shooting up, you know, and you start thinking like, oh, the market manipulators, the market makers, they're reading me, and you start to get really bitter, and it's never a good feeling. I've been there. I'm not gonna pretend like I was I'm a trading pro by any means. I don't have like a finance degree. I'm not like educated in finance. It's just trial by fire. But that's the thing. You have to get burnt a few times, but you also have to survive the burns. If you get burnt a few times and you quit, that's one thing. But all it is at the end of the day is learning your lessons and trading longer than everybody else. Because what I'm implying is that you're actually learning from those burns, right? I'm not saying get burned a million times and then suddenly you're going to get good. That makes no sense at all. Which is why I also think if someone comes up to me and they say like, oh, I've been trading for 20 years. That doesn't really tell me much. You could have been a really bad trader for 20 years. So I usually poke and prod for more, and I'm like, oh yeah, this person really knows their stuff, or maybe they'll show me their like account or something. But that's been my sort of little like, I'm from Wall Street Bets. I learned from Storm Will Pass. If anybody remembers that mod that shorted Tesla a long time ago, Storm Will Pass. I still think about that guy. I think he's helped me out a few times when Wall Street Bets was like sub 30K, sub 30K. Dude, what is it? Subscribers, followers, whatever. It was a good time. Shout out to JNug. Shout out to Micron. The Mu 90s. Do you guys remember that? You guys remember that meme? What is it now? Dude, 158? All those years of Mu 90s, and then it crashed when is this? Holy moly, 64. And then it rips from 60 to 157. Oh my goodness. And it looks like a double top. Or a breakout. Who knows? It depends on what side you're on. Yeah, today's stream is late. You actually missed it. So I'm actually streaming with somebody right now, a friend. But he's picking up his kid from school. So he's going to be back in a few minutes. I'm kind of the person just carrying on the show and waiting for the star to come back. It was really cool because I was hanging out with Meh the pretty much the entire time I was out on the floor. Like if I was out at an event at Robinhood Summit, I was hanging out with Meh, and the amount of people that was coming up to him and was like, "Hey, you're Meh from Twitter," and I was just like, "Dude, I'm like really good friends with like a FinTwit celebrity here." Like it was crazy how many people went up to him. I was like, "Wow, dude, you have a killer following. That's awesome." So yeah, and then also just a lot of that energy of just having people to talk to like that deep into like options and stocks. It was honestly really refreshing because I think a lot of us now can sort of empathize with the feeling of, you're the power trader in your friend group. You're usually the one that knows everything that's going. About the interest rate today. Your friends probably don't, but you can imagine Robinhood Summit is just this giant place where everyone knows about the interest rate cut, and it's just a different vibe, and that ignited me. Like it was really cool. It was actually Mez's idea for us to stream together too. We were watching the panel of 5 traders trade live on stream, and he's like, "Yo, have you heard of StreamYard?" And I'm like, "Nah." Only saying, just making sure you're only saying not. I'm pretty sure that says nice things. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, and then this happened. So yeah, shout out to Matt. Thank you so much for the opportunities to speak to some of your audience. It's really cool getting to meet new people. Especially because I know that anybody that follows him is good people. Like the way he presents his information is very truth focused, very numbers focused, and I could use some of that in my own DD, but maybe I'm a little bit too retail these days. But sometimes the stupid stuff works. Sometimes the stupid stuff works. Speaking of stupid stuff, SPY, not nearly as bad as like a minute ago. I feel like it is whipping up and down right now. Let's go to the 5-minute. Touched the 200 EMA on the hourly, so that's kind of cool. Touched the 50 EMA on the 4-hour, which is also really cool. My portfolio is down. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's down, but really maybe just say it's flat. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I did my homework yesterday. Like, I took the extra time to write cover calls on stuff and chose strike prices on what stuff I liked. I put credit spreads instead of cash secured puts because I wanted a smaller max loss. Like, yeah, there's just a little bit of homework you gotta do before big events. But also understandable if you got a 9-to-5 job and, trading is not like your main thing. Like, I could get that. Let me check something real quick. Yep, let me see here. Cool. Let's see. What else can I say? I met Amit. Amit was really, really nice. It's just someone else I could glaze. I could glaze literally like everybody that I met. Everyone was just super nice there. Which is, there's the good side of FinTwit and there is the bad side of FinTwit. Like, it's somehow, some way, everyone at Robinhood Summit was just really nice. Like, they did their homework. I don't know if the invitation team like looked through your tweet history or something, but like everyone there was just spot on. Really great people. I got a chance to take a picture with Amit, and we took the picture, and we were done. And then he was like talking to his fans or whatever. But the amount of time like he gave me to talk with him and his other fans, like I was like, man, I'm just like scribbling notes down. Make sure to take time to talk with people. Like, it was a class act. Like, that was great. They say never meet your heroes in person and whatnot. But I saw Meh, great guy. Also, first time meeting Meh in real life. Right? Like that. This was the perfect like excuse and meetup point. So, and there's other people that I have traded with over the years over the internet that I would love to see at one of these events. So, some of you are in the chat today. If you wanted to trade more on Robinhood and be incentivized to get yourself a pass, that'd be a great way to meet up. But yeah, we also see Robinhood is doing pretty well right now. Philip Morris. Right now, I've been looking at tobacco companies because whether or not we have a recession, tobacco, guns, alcohol, the vanity stuff, they tend to do pretty okay. I wouldn't say maybe well, but they do okay. And it's at a pretty interesting price point right now. On the 4-hour, it is under the death cross after the most recent move on July 22nd. So while this move up looks pretty good, maybe wait for the golden cross to happen. This is on the 4-hour chart. I like the 4-hour interval more than the daily now, because I used to just be a daily stand. I used to just be on the daily all the time. But 4-hour, the first time I saw it in Robinhood, I was like, who uses this? Like 4 hours? Like, that's what? Like 3 candles a day? That's kind of whatever. It works. I like it a lot. So I've been paying attention to the EMAs on the 4-hour chart pretty often. Let's see. Yeah, the count is going up. Go back out to here. Volatility down 4%. 4%. That's a big oof for anyone that's wanting something crazy to happen. That really sucks. VIX is one of the hardest naked trades to win on. I think if you're trading VIX and you're just buying VIX long calls or VIX puts, dude, you are going to get your feelings hurt. Like, my bad. Like, I'm sorry, fam. You're gonna learn that lesson the hard way. It is just so difficult to make just naked VIX work. It's a great vehicle for hedging, which is what it's really used for. But we all know people don't do that. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. We all have that one friend that does like 100 calls on VIX because they think that COVID-4 is going to happen. It's just yeah. VIX is down. Volatility is down 4%. Let's see. Dude, you got volume on?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You can? Okay. Sorry. Are you getting any feedback?
No. You sound
like okay.
You have pay attention to the road.
No, I'm like sitting in traffic.
Okay. Turn up your outbound if you can. All
right, hang on. Let me see if I can figure this out.
I tell him to do something and then something bad happens.
No.
Pay attention to the road, but turn up your outbound though.
I'm sitting in the pickup line for my daughter's school right now.
Oh, awesome.
It's way worse than I thought it was gonna be. So I was like, let me dial in while I'm just sitting here doing nothing anyways.
Sick.
Yeah, this is the fun stuff you have to look forward to, man.
Do you? Yeah. Hopefully, I pray that I have kids. I want them so bad.
Just stop at one is my advice. One's enough. Two.
I grew up as one. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You can spoil an only child.
Yes, sir.
No, I have two. It's great. I mean, my logic was I had a sibling, so I wanted my kid to have a sibling too. Because I feel like, I don't know, there's something to be said for. I mean, I don't think it really matters, but to have a sibling is kind of nice.
Right. The wife wants 3. So, I mean, we're going to compromise and we're going to have 3.
So what people say is like, once you get past 2, it doesn't really matter anyways anymore. So like, if you're going to have 2, you might as well have 3. Is like the logic a lot of people have. Might not want to tell her I said that, because then she'll might want to have like 5.
I showed her the picture that you generated, the Temu, Tom Lee, and that one. Oh, she loved it. She loved it. It's so cute. It's so cute. I might make it my profile picture, man. Just like the little cutout like that. Yeah. Might have to graduate from Pikachu.
All ChatGPT. Shout out to OpenAI, I guess. Maybe Robinhood will give us a way to invest in it before it goes public. How great would that be?
That would just be too crazy. Robinhood is up right now 1%.
It's up? Wow. Did the SPY? I haven't been watching it since I got on the road. Did the SPY ever like get back to somewhat normal from tanking?
What do you guess that it's at?
I don't know. Down like 0.25%.
Down 0.25%, huh? You think it's really down? You don't believe in America?
I'm not looking. I can't see. I'm
I know. I
down
love
like a
playing
half
with you like this.
Well,
it's flat. It's at 0.
Oh, really? See, that is the most like ThetaGang. ThetaGang always wins.
Dude. What have we done?
That should have been predictable. Like, the market will just go nowhere on this because everyone thinks it's gonna go like either fly or crash off of it.
Yeah, we do see
absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm. We do see the most amount of volume traded within a 4-hour window today in a very long time. Maybe since August 3rd. So maybe like a month and a half. Well, a month and a half ago we had
well, we needed something. Like, the market had been like, I know we've been grinding up, but like volatility wise, it's been pretty boring.
Yeah.
Like, outside of a few names. Like Open Door and all the other ones that like the FOMO trades, but like those are few and far between. We need something.
Me and Slow were talking about maximum pain yesterday, and we looked up SPY's maximum pain 660.
There you
Spine's price right now, $6.59.
There you go. Well, it still has 2 days to go to 660 for OPEX. Because isn't it is it the triple or quad witching OPEX this month?
I don't know what they call it, dude. Remember, dude, FinTwit was really fighting that last one. Remember, people are like, "Oh, it's not called triple. It's not quad. It's triple."
Quad, triple, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, just shut
the
up.
one that has multiple witches.
Yeah,
whichever, call it what you want. No, that does make sense. Though. I feel like because of that, and then the FOMC actually doing cuts again, that it would just fall right on Max Payne to screw everybody. Plus, I think people reposition like big after this OPEX because the next big one is in January, right? So through the rest of the year, like the next quarterly one will be January 16th. So everybody is positioning for end of year after this week.
Is it not just green light? I mean, I guess now this just means that the next inflation numbers that we see just have to come in line. You know, there's no real expectation beyond that, but unemployment comes in better than expected. We rock it then if this is the sort of precedent.
I was gonna say it before I dropped off, but like I thought like when SPY was like 656 or whatever, when it was down 0.6%, I was gonna say like I feel like this is just a buy opportunity because nothing. I mean, we didn't listen to everything that Jay Powell said, but like there was nothing today that should shock the market in any way. So like if we were already grinding up, I don't think today changed anything with the FOMC. Like it's a nothing burger.
We learned that trend is your friend, and trend is up. But
so
just plain and simple, trend is up.
I don't know. A lot of people were saying that it's gonna be like Tom Lee among them that they think, and our boy Shavako Capital. I don't know if you still watch his stuff anymore.
The croissant.
Yeah, they think it's like a decade-long bull run. So, I mean, obviously there'll be dips during that, but a lot of people think it's just gonna grind up for like the next 9 years. All right, let me get my kid in the car. Hey, how are you? Hey, need help? Got it? All right. Hey, this is my daughter, Lydia. You can say hey.
Oh, wait, that's the car seat. That's the car seat.
So yeah. All right. Well, it's like 10 minutes back to my house. I'm gonna hop back on the computer since I'm actually gonna have to drive now.
Okay.
I'll see you in a second.
Wait. Does your daughter know you're famous? Does your daughter know you're famous?
No. She says, why are you on video half the time if I have to like post a video? And then she'll say like sometimes I'll go back and I'll listen to them just to make sure I don't didn't say anything stupid during like the videos before I post them. And then she'll be like, why are you listening to yourself? I'm like, oh, that's humbling. And I was like, that's fair. It's a good question.
Kids say the darnest things, bro.
Nah,
okay.
They really do.
I will.
All right.
Yeah, I'll hold the ship. I'll wait for you.
All right. See you, man.
All right. Bye.